Only days ago, it looked like the United States and Iran might finally be heading toward a diplomatic breakthrough. Talks in Geneva, optimistic statements, another round of negotiations planned. But now, massive U.S. military deployments, aircraft carriers moving into position, and reports suggesting the White House is considering major military action. So what changed? Is war between the U.S. and Iran actually becoming likely? And if it happens, what would it look like? Let's break it down. In recent days, the United States has significantly increased its military presence in the Middle East. Reports indicate additional fighter aircraft deployments, refueling tankers positioned for long-range missions, carrier strike groups repositioned, most notably the USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest aircraft carrier in the world, what has been deployed toward the region in past escalations. Military buildups of this scale are not routine. Historically, major U.S. deployments preceded the 2003 Iraq invasion, the 1991 Gulf War, increased pressure campaigns against adversaries. Now, a deployment alone does not mean war, but sustained logistical preparation, especially refueling aircraft for long-range strike capability, often signals readiness for extended air operations. And that's what has analysts paying attention. The core dispute remains the same one that has blocked diplomacy for years. Uranium enrichment. The U.S. position, Iran must severely limit or eliminate domestic uranium enrichment to prevent weapons capability. Iran's position, under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, it has the right to peaceful nuclear energy, including domestic enrichment. This exact issue led to the 2015 nuclear agreement under Barack Obama, the U.S. withdrawal from the deal under Donald Trump. Renewed tensions ever since beyond nuclear issues, the U.S. has also pushed back on Iran's ballistic missile program, support for groups like Hezbollah, support for Hamas. For Tehran, conceding on all these fronts at once would be politically dangerous domestically. For Washington, accepting partial concessions could be seen as weakness. That's the deadlock. If the U.S. were to strike Iran, experts believe it would likely begin with air and missile strikes targeting nuclear facilities, cyber operations against military infrastructure, possible strikes on Revolutionary Guard assets, a full-ground invasion, highly unlikely. Iran is geographically large, mountainous, and capable of asymmetric retaliation. And Iran would not sit still. Possible retaliation could include missile strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq or the Gulf, disruption of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, escalation through regional proxy groups, which means this wouldn't stay contained for long. Oil markets would spike, regional allies would be pulled in. Global powers like Russia and China would react diplomatically, possibly more. Some analysts argue we are entering a new era of geopolitical blocs, reminiscent of the superpower rivalries imagined in 1984. The U.S.-China, Russia, and regional powers like Iran asserting influence through proxies and asymmetric warfare. A direct U.S.-Iran war would not just be a Middle East conflict, it would reshape global energy markets, global security alliances, and potentially accelerate a new Cold War dynamic. Right now, three factors will decide: whether negotiations fully collapse, whether Iran accelerates nuclear enrichment, whether domestic political pressure in Washington favors escalation, military buildup raises the temperature, diplomatic deadlock increases risk. But history also shows that brinkmanship doesn't always lead to bombs. For now, the world is watching carefully, because if miscalculation happens on either side, escalation could move very quickly. Do you think this is just pressure tactics, or are we on the brink of another major Middle East war? Let me know in the comments. And if you want deep, unbiased breakdowns of global conflicts like this, subscribe, because the world is changing fast, and you need to understand it